Dun 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 dun. And we're back. Episode 15. Yes, Alyssa, you are hearing this. I, the intern, am introducing this week's episode. We have our host right across from me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you care to bless us with your name?
Yes, my name is Jon.
And I'm Mark.
And it's yeah.
I think I
She's
should
gonna
do
be mad.
all. I think I should do all the intros from now on.
No, that's not gonna happen. But
Liz is
she's gonna be
big
mad. She's gonna be
mad.
real mad.
Yeah, I took your chair. And now I have the intros. Wow.
Yeah.
When she gets back, it's gonna be war.
She's missing out on a lot right now.
No, but
And for those listening, the reason why is because she's working late. Unfortunately, new work schedule. So she's not here this time, but we will fix that later on.
We will. She's employed now.
But she is here in spirit.
Here in Booze. She's sitting to my left, to John's right.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I have an update for you.
Really?
So, for the audience that doesn't know, Jon and Alyssa have a cult-like obsession with Aldi's.
Yes.
And an Aldi's opened by my house.
And you went without us the first time.
I did. It was very, just intuitive. Go into Aldi's. First of all, it's very bare. It's like, are all Aldi's like that? Or is it just like,
What do you mean
because
bare?
mine is new? I don't know. It just looked empty. Like the shelves were full, obviously.
Yeah.
But I guess just how the store is laid out is just very wide.
Well, it's open wide with small packaging.
Maybe it's the packaging is really
Yeah,
small.
there's not like big boxes everywhere. It's like everything can fit in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, okay. But
Like when you go to Costco or BJ's, they have like boxes.
Yeah, and it's like you feel dwarfed.
Yeah, but the shelves only go like 7 or 8 feet up.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense now. But we bought a lot of stuff, and it only came out to be like $130.
Exactly.
I didn't buy any meat, but I did see I did see what you were talking about, like all the meat section.
Yeah.
But I don't like how they package it. It looks weird.
Well, because it's not in like a heavy duty container. It's in like plastic wrapping.
Maybe they save money on that.
Some of it is in plastic containers, but that's only if it comes with like more than like 5 or 6 pieces at a time.
And also, I have a little bit of beef with Aldi's because they better leave that shit in Germany. Because you know why? Why are they bringing pay for a bottle deposit fee in the United States of America?
Pay for a bottle deposit?
Oh, you didn't know this? So it's like a big German thing. So when you buy a plastic bottle, like a bottle of water, a bottle of Coca-Cola, whatever, you pay a 5 cents deposit fee. And you'll get the 5 cents back if you go back to Aldi's or in Germany, wherever you bought it from, and you return the bottle.
So yeah, I've been missing out on 5 cents.
Exactly.
Almost like 2 or 3 times a week.
But I think it's only individually, though. So if you buy a case of it, I don't know if that applies. But
I've bought like water bottles from there. And you're telling me...
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Okay, I didn't know that until now.
Yeah, it's a very like German thing. So when I saw that, I was like, hell no, we're not bringing that in.
I'm not coming back. It's going to make me look fat.
That's what everybody is. Like,
it's going to make me look desperate.
Like for 5 cents?
Yeah.
But let's say if you have like a bunch of them, though.
I'm just going to collect them in my car and then come back.
Yeah. Think of it like this. Every time you come home, you drop 5 cents in that jar.
But have you met somebody who's like proud to be going back for 5 cents from a plastic bottle?
There's a whole country of them, and it's called Germany.
It's called Germany.
We need to have a certified German on the podcast to tell us about this cultural phenomena.
We know somebody who's half German.
Oh, we do.
So we could ask them.
We should. We should consult our expert.
Yes, we should.
All right. Well, I have a topic today to talk about that we were speaking about earlier, Jon.
Mm-hmm.
And this topic is about the red pill community.
Yeah.
And we're going to be taking... Do you want to take a deep dive or are we taking like just seeing where the flows go or...
I could do a deep dive of it.
Yeah, let's do a deep dive.
Because like I'm not fully aware of it. Like when we were talking earlier, I wasn't even fully aware of like the red pill definition itself. I thought it was more like a political thing when it's not.
Okay, so for those who may not know, the red pill and the blue pill are from the Matrix, right? Mm-hmm. When Morbius tells Neo Like, oh, Morpheus, right?
Yes.
Oh, not Morpheus?
Morbius is the Jared Leto
no, I said
vampire.
Morpheus.
No, you said Morbius.
I said, you know what? When you go back into
Morbius.
When you go back into editing, you can fact check yourself.
You said Morbius.
In about a day.
You said Morbius.
But anyways, let the audience decide. Put it in the comments section.
Okay. But I'll leave a poll open. Did he say Morpheus or Morbius?
You know what? Add the poll too.
I am.
But anyways, so Morpheus, right, in the Matrix, presents Neo, the red pill or the blue pill. The blue pill, you go back to sleep and you wake up, everything's fine. You stay in the Matrix. Or the red pill, you see how you escape the Matrix. So the red pill community takes that same, I guess, analogy and applies it to real life. That real life is the Matrix. Not in the sense that we're in like a simulation, but that everyone just goes about their day absorbing modern culture that is, according to the red pill community, very important, that it's degenerative and it's like destroying you, right? And it's sucking the life out of you for every dollar, similar to that of like the robots sucking,
using you as a battery.
Yeah, using you as a battery, and that you become unhappy, you're drained, all the above, right? So,
and when you take the red pill, you become red pilled.
The Matrix.
You escape the online culture and return to like traditional norms.
I would say
the outside world, like no influence from not no influence, but it's like you're not stuck on that online culture as crazy, right?
No, it's actually, I would say, the complete opposite. That the people who are red pilled are some of the most online people on the planet.
With the definition, let's just do the definition of red pilled.
Okay.
So when you're being red pilled, that means you're pulling yourself out of online culture.
No, I would say this
or
is
like or like not having your life so involved in social media influence or like whatever's going on in media. Is that what that means, or is it different?
Red pill, I would say, uses online media, and being online is instrumental to the red pill community because it allows them to, advertise their beliefs.
Like the people who talk about being red pilled are the ones on the internet.
Yeah.
But the ones that are trying to convince you to leave the internet.
Yeah. But I would say red pill, though, is more of a societal rejection or a rejection of societal norms. And to them, those who abide by the red pills, societal norms are what we would consider, like, I would say modern, or like agreed upon terms. So mostly like socially liberal ideas, right? Because red pills embody what is a traditional conservative life, right? However, the problem is that a lot of the red pilled community, right, they're huge hypocrites, or not hypocrites. I would say hypocrites.
Like to a certain degree, a little hypocritical.
Yeah, that is a perfect term. A little hypocritical. So like, one of the major criticisms that the red pill community have is that women are being very promiscuous in modern society, right? And that the red pill community likes to hammer this down, this idea called hypergamy. And are you familiar with what hypergamy is?
I could probably guess like what it means.
So hypergamy is the idea of women will use men to climb up social ladders. So like, for example, you date a girl and she knows she can get you, but she is always looking for a cuter guy. And because women are the prize, right? And that, us men, we're competing for women, that what the red pill community calls the chads, right? The very good looking, brolic or lean men, confident, charismatic men, will take all the women. They'll have multiple girlfriends and they will basically steal all the women from the pool so that all the rest of men don't have women. Right. That's more or less what it is. And that is detrimental to society, to the red pill community.
Okay.
Right. Basically, the red pill community believes every man deserves to get his dick wet. Right. So how this translates to, I guess, online is you get a lot of these notable figures that show up on algorithms. They show up and they basically promote, for the men, I would say, a very hyper masculine, to a point, I would say almost comedic masculine, a sense of masculinity, right?
So does the red pill community side with the Chad or without the Chad?
Depends. It's like kind of, it's really...
It's never a straight answer.
It's never a straight answer. It's really more, that's a really good question.
Are they trying to promote competition between men, or they're trying to make it easier for men to get with women?
The red pill community appreciates the Chad, but despises the women who go for the Chad, if that makes sense. So it's basically like the idea of all men should be a Chad, but you shouldn't have multiple women because then that robs us of women. It's like, it's a very complex thing, right? And so,
but you can't control that.
No, but the idea is that the red pill community believes you can use, this is where I guess the political arm of the red pill community comes in, that you can use society and government to more or less force monogamy onto a population, right? So we can combat hypergamy by having a strict moral code in society enforced by the government that forces people to be monogamous.
Okay.
Right? Now, what that looks like in real life, that is impossible to tell because, the government isn't going to, like, let's say, outlaw divorce, right? Like, that's a one big thing is that people in the red pill community believe the government should outlaw no-fault divorce. And for those who may not know, no-fault divorce is the idea of, like, at any point, a woman or a man can go, I don't want to be married to you anymore. That's a no-fault divorce. They don't need to prove any wrongdoing to walk away, right? But the red pill community believes that, no, you should have to prove something in order to walk away from a marriage. And this is where, I guess, one idea of using the government to fight this, dare I say, imaginary hypergamy, epidemic. So, yeah, and this is where it gets into, I would say, the more online aspect of it, because you have a lot of these guys in the red pill community who, like the famous ones, right?
Right.
Everybody knows Andrew Tate. He's like the king of the red pill.
Yeah, he's the top G.
I think he's the guy who coined the term the Matrix.
I think so, sure. Yeah.
And then
was it like when he was going crazy on Twitter after he got out of prison?
No, it was way before that.
It was actually way before that?
It was way before that. But
interesting.
Then you have Sneeko, which is really funny because he goes like I'm a big red pill guy, like, I want a traditional conservative, woman, blah, blah, blah. But
and then he just announced he's leaving the red pill community
because he can't make any more money off of it. But then you have Aiden Ross, who's like, I'm talking about people like who we would know, the red pill community. I'm trying to think of ones that I know of. Well, you keep going. I'm trying to think of ones I know of. Then you have people who kind of like accuse people of being in the red pill community, or like in the broader, I guess, alt-right. This is where the lines get really blurred now. Between red pill and alt-right and all of these, kind of like denominations, right, of online substrata. And wow, me using big words. Did I
look at you with an advanced vocabulary?
I know, right? And don't worry, once I start hitting this drink, it's gonna go out the window.
Once you start hitting the booze,
yeah,
it's gonna go right back to street talk.
Yeah, I'll finish this little point in a second, but. People will accuse, for argument's sake, like Joe Rogan of being like, oh, he's red pilled, or he's like in the alt right, and it's like, no,
that's not true.
Would I say he talk when I say talk, I mean people having on his podcast, I guess red pill adjacent. Yeah, but then this is where the lines get really blurred. And this is where I guess like you have a very hyper reaction to, the red pill communities, because everybody, like, the red pill community takes real world concerns in terms of like male suicide, male obesity, male depression, like all of these real epidemics that people don't talk about, but distorts it and blames women for this problems in society.
Is it just solely blaming women for these male concerns?
Yes,
or in a way. Or is it also like including like the way that like social media affects people, or if it's just changing in culture, or if it's increasing in like use of technology or things like that? Or is the central focus just on women being that sole source of the problem?
All of the above. It's literally all.
So it includes all those things, but most of it is on
women are at the heart of it.
Women are at the heart of it
because what it is like, for example, right? Male insecurity. Well, why are you like? If I was, let's say, a diehard red pill person, it's like, okay, I take Johnny here, who he doesn't have a girlfriend. Why is because all the women on Instagram get male validation. This is where internet hypergamy comes in. That I don't need John, right? I don't need John's physical attention, blah, 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 because he's just a dime in a dozen, right? So John becomes an alcoholic. John becomes fat. John becomes depressed. John becomes, disassociated from society. And
thanks for using John. I appreciate that.
All right, we'll use James. James becomes depressed. James becomes disassociated with society. And I'm
like, you're looking at me pretty solid when you listed off those things.
But yeah, and then what happens is the red pill will go, oh, the fact that you have become an alcoholic is not a problem. The fact that you are depressed is not the problem. None of that is your fault. It's because the woman hasn't given you pussy. That's the problem. That's really what the heart of the issue is. And so the red pill will take real issues like, male suicide is astronomically high, male depression is astronomically high, anxiety is astronomically high. Like, I would say it's a broader societal thing, but for men in particular, it's like disproportionately higher. But the red pill will take that real, I would think, problem and then distort it in a way that, it's because of women. And then at some point, then they become kind of like societal commentators. It's like once you go into the red pill, it's kind of like you go down this rabbit hole where you end up becoming like obsessed with, like talking about trans people and like obsessed with talking about like women and obsessed with like societal
you issues. Can only like be so borderline with the topic before you start diving into other elements.
Yes, exactly. It's definitely, I think, gonna become really closely studied in the next couple of years, like because it's like a pipeline. It's like you are introduced and then it just goes way down into this rabbit hole to the point where you're like,
well, that's for any topic is kind of like that.
Yeah, I would agree with that in principle, but I think that the red pill is different, or at least feels different to me, because it's like how vague the term can be. So you would have somebody like, let's say, Jordan Peterson, who I would say is more of a conservative thinker, or in like common what was it, what I want to say, not comedian, but commentator, yeah, kind of like more of just a social commentator. But people, because he talks about the same things that, let's say, Andrew Tate may talk about to a certain degree,
he becomes like associated with that community and those ideals.
Like Jordan Peterson talks about hypergamy, and I disagree with him on that stance, but he talks about like the lack of male role models that a lot of young men have growing up, or the lack of structure that young men have growing up, and all of this, right? But because he talks about hypergamy and like just socially comments on modern society, he's now like, oh, they call him the king of the incels.
They call Jordan Peterson the king of the incels?
And yeah, by they, so people are like, oh, who's they? Who's they? They, I would say,
they're just his critics.
His critics who tend to be more on the socially liberal side.
Right.
Because Jordan Peterson is more of like a social conservative, in that regard.
I don't agree with that statement at all. I don't think he's anywhere close to that.
Yeah, but
I've seen a lot of videos with Jordan Peterson, and I actually agree with a lot of what he says. I haven't done like a deep dive into it, but like the clips that I have seen make a lot of sense.
Yeah, like I would say Jordan Peterson,
like when he talks about like male confidence, or he goes into like a deep dive into history to show like how bad people can really be based on their circumstances, or things like that. Like, I agree with those things, to a degree, but like I never got the sense at all that he's like this incel or anything like that. I think that's just like an improper critique.
Yeah, like I would say Jordan Peterson, I agree with some things he says. I think that I was an early fan of Jordan Peterson, like back in like 2016, 2017, when he was like, did you know how he got famous? Like his first, like how he got famous?
I know that he had like a book or something.
Oh, this was before that.
Before the book.
So how he got big, right? Or what kind of put him on the map was, I believe he was either teaching at Harvard or the University of Toronto, or like some, university.
No, he's from, isn't he from Canada?
Yeah, but he taught at Harvard for a while.
Oh, okay.
So I think, no, he was in Canada. So he was in like some university in Toronto. And what happens is that the Canadian government passes, or is in the works, I don't know if it passed, but it was in the works at the time, creating a bill that would force and compel any medical professional and educational professional to use someone's preferred pronouns, right? So like Jordan Peterson, if this bill at the time had become law and someone's like, oh, I go by he, him, or she, her pronouns, even if Jordan Peterson didn't agree with it, he would be compelled by the Canadian law to adhere to that person's pronouns.
Okay.
So at the time, Jordan Peterson was like, I have no problem kind of like addressing somebody by their preferred pronouns, but I don't agree with the government compelling me to have to say this, right? And that's where he got like the big flack, because then this is where, the government now comes in and saying like, you have to do this. And by the government, the Canadian government has to come in, and he got famous off of these lectures, and these lectures, like you said, diving into, morality and like how people,
right.
And that's where that famous clip of him comes in, where he's like, he is arguing the idea that people who are communists or socialists have very like huge egos, because they believe that, well, my version of communism works, right? My belief of communism works. And Jordan Peterson is like, every, whether you agree with it or not is, not the point, but he's just like kind of saying like every instance that a communist government has arisen, it has always dived into a totalitarian, dystopian society. And even if you were the golden child of communism, right, like you're going to bring about the true, iteration of Marx and, Engels, right, you'll be killed by someone who is like Joseph Stalin, that just wants to solidify power around themselves. So that was like where that was like one of his big things. But Jordan Peterson more recently has like, whether it's because he got addicted to the bag, or it was like, the Daily Wire, check got to him.
Oh yeah, he's on the Daily Wire now. Yeah, he's on the Daily
Wire now. Is more like he's now really just talking a lot about like the whole like, LGBTQ issues, like whether it's like trans sports or, young trans people, blah blah blah. Like he's like kind of dived into that.
Wasn't there one with Sports Illustrated when they had the plus size model on the cover?
Oh yeah, and he went off on Twitter.
Well, was the person who was a plus size model an athlete or not?
No, it was just like Sports Illustrated. What Sports Illustrated was trying to, like, whether you agree with it or not, it was like, just putting a plus size model on the front cover.
So they just decided they were like, let's just get political from
because people were criticizing Sports Illustrated of creating unrealistic body standards, and this is where
those are the bodies of athletes,
or like models and all that. Like Joe Rogan had a really good talk about this, where like Joe Rogan was like, it is completely realistic because she's right there. And
wait, so does Sports Illustrated use models and not actual athletes?
As far as I know, somebody can fact check me on this, they're models.
They're not athletes.
Like obviously Sports Illustrated, like what we're talking about, like the girl in the bikini, right? Like I believe that's a model. That's not like an athlete.
But like anybody else that like on other issues of the cover, do they do models or they like?
No, they also do athletes. Like, yeah. But like what?
Because I would think that if it's Sports Illustrated, shouldn't you always have an athlete on like an actual athlete on the cover?
And this is where we need Jamie to pull this up. I do not know,
because if it's just a model who's not even an athlete, then why is it Sports Illustrated if those aren't athletes?
I think he talks about sports, like I've never read a Sports Illustrated magazine. Like obviously I've seen Sports Illustrated magazines, but I never like picked it up and read it.
Yeah.
But the iconic model or individual for right now, woman in the bikini on the beach, with the waves crashing behind her.
Yeah, she's not an athlete.
As far as I know, that's just a model.
Okay.
But so Joe Rogan was talking about this, right? Because like Jordan Peterson, for those who may know, went off on Twitter. It was like, I refuse by the totalitarian left to force me to think this is beautiful. Like this man went off, right? And people gave him a lot of flack because they were accusing him of like being fat phobic and blah blah blah, and basically Joe Rogan comes into the picture and is like, this is realistic because this woman has it, but it's important to know that this woman did a lot of work, whether it was working out or having a strict diet or whatever, to achieve that. You don't just like wake up and become a supermodel body, and that Rogan was basically arguing that you need to put in the work and you should also respect the work, because this is their craft, right? They're paid to look pretty. They put in a lot of work to look pretty, right? And that these women shouldn't be punished for putting in the work to look pretty. Now, people may disguise my statement as like, oh, well, if I don't look like a Sports Illustrated model, am I not pretty? It's like, no, that's not what that means. But you should understand that that's what you don't see. Like when you take that picture, this is what Joe Rogan was saying. Like what you don't see is the thousands of hours that model put in to eating right. Or let's say like may not even be eating right, like eating a very strict diet to look like that.
Okay.
Right. Or like, going to the gym 10 hours a day to look like that for that one picture so that she can become famous. That's what people don't see. People just see the instant like woman on a beach in a bikini. Yeah. Same thing with the guys. Like, we don't, when we look at a bodybuilder, we just see, oh, this guy's swole, oh, this guy's this, but we don't see the hours and hours and hours of gym that the guy puts in. We don't see him filling up his ass with Tren. Yeah, come at me, bodybuilders. Like, but going back, but we don't see the hard work. We just see like the end result.
Right.
Yeah, but
okay, that's interesting.
But going back to it, but Jordan Peterson has gotten, lack of a better term, himself into like a bunch of hot water with like the Canadian government, has gotten him into a bunch of hot water with like, I would say just the broader Canadian government, because he
didn't it was like the Canadian like board of psychologists or something like that. They like ousted him from the whole organization.
They ousted him. I don't know why. There was a bunch of things, right? Like they had a whole air quotes compelling case against him, but basically they revoked his license to practice psychology.
Damn.
That's why. So he's actually a psychologist. Like people.
Yeah, he's a licensed psychologist.
He's a former licensed
psychologist now.
But he was like a psychologist for his entire life. And basically, if memory serves me correct, I believe he was ousted because he would refuse to affirm someone's gender identity or something along those lines, where it's like, you know, Jordan Peterson argued that it is not the role of the psychologist to make the decision for the patient. So if the patient comes in and it's like, I don't know what gender I am. I don't know who I am. I'm having this existential crisis, right? Jordan Peterson was of the opinion that the psychologist's job is not to affirm that person's identity, is to guide them to an identity, right?
So they wanted him to tell his patients.
As far as I know, like for example, right?
Like you are a boy, you are a girl.
Yes. As far
but doesn't that go? That sounds like it goes against like, or maybe I'm thinking more like in a psychiatrist's sense, or like a therapist's sense.
Well, yeah,
somebody can't like you can't just tell them what they want to hear. They have to figure it out on their own.
But some people are of the opinion that like the doctors should, or like, you know, therapists, psychologists, all of that should be there to affirm your identity, like in the sense of that if you come in and you're like, you know,
that sounds like the most stressful thing on earth for a psychologist to do, though.
But that's what the Canadian Board of Psychologists had unanimously approved upon. And then this is where Jordan Peterson gets the hot water, because he's basically calling on all woke leftists, blah blah blah. And also it was his political statements about like Justin Trudeau, and you know, they're saying you're a psychologist, you shouldn't be getting into political arguments. And then Jordan Peterson will shoot back saying like, oh, but you know, you endorse all this gender woke, you know, ideology, you know, so you're getting into politics. And it just ended up, I think, with them revoking his license. But
are they allowed to do that?
Yeah, because it's a board. It's like in the United States, like if a doctor is accused, I guess, of being like a witch doctor, you know, doing like unsanctioned medical practices.
Yeah, you can have your medical license revoked.
It's the same thing. Like you can...
Or if you break like one of the rules of medicine.
Yeah, you can have your license and your practice revoked.
Damn.
Yeah, so like Jordan Peterson...
so now he's just fully like on the like critique side, like social commentary side now.
Yeah, and
because if he doesn't have his license, he can't do anything like that.
Yeah, no, he can't. And he is now, he works for the Daily Wire now. He's just, he has become just a social commentator. And I feel like at the end of the day, when you enter into that world, that's really the end result. You know, you just become a social commentator, but then at some point it's like,
you're so affiliated with those comments or the politics or the sociology aspect, that it consumes the rest of you.
Yeah, that's what you're absolutely right. Like I feel like at some point when all you do is just socially comment on things, it just consumes you as an individual, you know, and then you just become like a parody. Like I know that sounds kind of crazy, but like, it's just, you will do things so absurd for clout to make money.
Well, you kind of have to, because that's what you depend on.
Yeah.
You depend on having your, like, media and news in general requires, like, having your viewership, right? And what gets viewership is drama, gossip, or, like, even, like, for film and television, what sells the best? Sex, gore, nudity, and violence.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see why they'd have to go to those lengths.
But I kind of want to push against that, because I would say like British news media, like have you ever seen the BBC?
And how, like, are you thinking of like Piers Morgan?
Well, Piers Morgan was on like ITV.
I don't know what ITV is.
ITV, I guess, is like their ABC. So like you have the BBC. BBC is like their PBS, and then ITV would be like their ABC or like their CNN. You know, like a private news media. Okay. But
how many are there in the UK? Do you know?
I don't know, but I know that the UK culturally really pushes for their commentators to be very neutral. So they don't do like the outrage machine, or if they do, it's not to the point of the United States. Like in the United States, we have very like partisan news media. So you have Fox News, you have MSNBC, and then you have like, you know, CBS in the middle, right? Kind of like those avenues. But in the UK, it's supposed to be much more like center and much more centrist, right? So like Ben Shapiro comes on to the BBC, and there's like this very famous BBC reporter or like host, I don't really know his name, but it's a viral video because Ben Shapiro is kind of like just being interviewed for an upcoming book, and the BBC guy is basically accusing Ben Shapiro of fueling the outrage and the partisanship in the United States, right? He's like, you talk about partisanship, you talk about how Americans are unhappier and all this, aren't you partially to blame, right? Because you are sitting here saying that America is under attack by these communists and socialists, and that we need to, you know, defend our conservative principles and XYZ, right? The outrage machine. Ben Shapiro goes, well, you know, like you see him starting to get like cornered. And Ben Shapiro is a fantastic debater, right? This is like what he does for a living. Yeah. So Ben Shapiro is not used to being put in a corner. He's used to putting people in a corner, right? So so Ben Shapiro, you instantly see him start to deflect. He's like, oh, well, you know, if you were going to be a partisan hack, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, and the guy, you know, the host is like, I take the opposing side to anyone that comes on my show. If you're a conservative, if you're a liberal, I will take the opposing side, you know. So what do you have to say, right? And, you know, Ben Shapiro walks off. He's like, you know, I'm done with this, blah, 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 and walks off. Ooh. And literally, like, Ben Shapiro then issues an apology and all of that. But it just goes to show, like, the differences in the media. So, you know, I think... You
can't debate with somebody that has nothing to debate when they're constantly changing sides.
And what's really funny was, like, Ben Shapiro was basically, like, saying, like, oh, you favor the Democrats, blah, blah, blah. And you can just kind of see the BBC is like, bro, I'm British. Like, I don't care. Like, dude, I'm British.
Yeah, really, like...
It's like, how can you say I'm biased if I'm not even American? You know, like... You know. And so, yeah, it's just kind of interesting. And
before we continue more with because I have a couple of other people in mind in the red pill community I'd like to talk about, but let's do the drinks now because we've gotten
I took
ways away in it. You know, we have a system here. You're not supposed to indulge right away.
It's good. It's good.
It's good. You like it?
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's like an amber color.
Yeah, it's like it looks like cider.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, did you just repeat one of Mike's drinks?
No.
Rest in booze, Mike.
I'm extremely creative.
This is strong. It has a bite to it.
Well, it might have sat a little bit. No, I mixed it beforehand, but it's been sitting here for like, I think almost like half an hour, a little bit more than half an hour.
There's definitely like peach in it or something. There has to be like peach.
If it is too strong, let me know, and then I can fix it.
Are you calling me a bitch on our own podcast?
Maybe.
Are you saying I need a chaser?
I mean, if you do, don't be afraid to ask.
I'm going to finish this now.
You gonna chug it?
No.
I'm
gonna finish this.
You're gonna finish
now it's
this
personal. Drink. What you said, well, you need a chaser for that.
Okay, prove it. We'll see what you do.
No, it's good though.
You said there's peach in it. Do you have any other flavors in mind?
I know you like vodka.
Yes, there is vodka in this.
I don't like vodka.
Yes, there's vodka in this.
Is this a vodka peach combo?
Maybe.
Wait, all right. You know what? Let me...
There's more. I'll give you a hint. There is more to it than just peach. There is peach in there.
Oh, wow.
But there's more to it. There is more to it.
Is there apples in here?
No.
Turmeric? Or like...
No.
Schnapps?
No.
Sour mix?
Maybe.
Oh. So is that the drink vodka, peach, and sour mix?
And not entirely, but you're getting closer.
All right. Don't give me it yet. I want to like build off of it.
Okay.
All right. So what was the other people you had for the red pill?
I'm trying to think of the other ones. Obviously, like Andrew Tate's the big one, right? And then you see all these people's clips all the time. Do you know who Jay Waller is?
I was just about to bring him up. Yeah.
Is he like? Because I get clips on my feed all the time. It's either Andrew Tate, Jay Waller, or Jordan Peterson. And then like, actually, do you know who Andrew Huberman is?
Yeah.
I learned from him from Joe Rogan for all like the health facts, and all that stuff like that. He's not part of that community. No, right? He's just a health person.
No, Andrew Huberman is like kind of on his own little field.
Yeah, he's doing. What is he, like a biologist?
He's a neuroscientist.
At
Stanford. No, yeah, Stanford.
Okay.
Stanford.
I just know him from all like the health videos.
So Jay Waller also shows up on my algorithm.
Like he talks about similar topics as well. He talks about like masculinity. He talks about like how women are into you, or how like you need to approach them, or like, if it's proper like exercising, or like all that kind of stuff. But I think he does it on a less toxic way than Andrew Tate does.
Like, you're poor. Like, I'm sorry.
A very much less toxic way.
That's my favorite clip of Andrew Tate. It's just like he has like his signature aviators on. He's like, "You're poor."
Also, why do you have to wear aviators indoors? That doesn't help your core. That doesn't help your case.
Fit. That's why it's part of the fit.
No, it doesn't help your case.
You know what's just so interesting? Like Jay Waller definitely shows up on my algorithm, and again, it's like. You hit it right on the nose. Like they take like real male problems. Like, yeah, there's obesity rate in the U.S. There's, insecurities. I would say like younger men, are much more like our age. Younger men are more insecure because of just the like prevalence of social media and just like how you can just see ripped men everywhere, but I would say, though, they use it, like, if you just look at the videos, they kind of just go like, oh, but I know the secrets. I know they're being shills. This is my own personal opinion.
Wait, who's being the shill?
Like Jay Waller, Andrew Tate, where they have something to gain from it, right? So one of them is like, Jay Waller.
I think Jay Waller is a billionaire, isn't he?
A billionaire?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if he's a billionaire.
I think,
but he's definitely like a millionaire. Like I think he owns like real estate, and he.
I think he's No, I saw a clip. He was talking about it. He runs a company that does all the like the steel frameworks for skyscrapers. So like if you're building like a 50-story building, you need to have like the foundation and the framework up so that the building stays in place. He has a company for that.
Like I have no doubt that this man has way more money than I do.
No, he's on that same level as like Andrew Tate, like $1 million wise. But I don't know. Actually, let me just look this up.
But I think though that
make sure that I'm correct in my.
But if you are like 100 millionaire or billionaire, why do you need a social media audience?
Well, he didn't, and then he got on the wave, that red pilled wave.
Yeah,
but I don't know how he got started. I just remember seeing a clip from him one day.
Yeah, I think that Jay Waller is definitely one of the less toxic ones, but if you listen to him talk, like, for example, it's like how to get a girl, right? It's very manipulative, very like, just be very manipulative. Like he calls it being a gentleman, right? But he's disguising gentleman and chivalrous behavior, as controlling, right? He's using controlling behavior, calling it gentlemanlike and chivalrous. And with a lot of young men who don't have, let's say, father figures in their lives, they look at this, individual, very wealthy, he's good looking,
right,
has pretty girls around him, has fancy cars, all this. They're like, oh, I want to be like him. It just sets a bad example, in my opinion.
So I just looked up his net worth. I was way off. So he is a millionaire, but his net worth is between 10 to 20 million.
Yeah, so he still has way more money than
I swear to God, I saw on those. So these videos don't do enough research, because one of them said that he was a billionaire, and I was like, as soon as he mentioned that, like, no, I own, because he owns Red Iron, which is a construction company specializing in metal buildings, and then he's also He's an entrepreneur, real estate agent, owner of the construction firm, and he's a real estate investor.
Yeah.
So I really got to start fact checking this stuff before I even come on this podcast even. Because those videos, I really like those. I got to stop listening to these shorts because one of those videos said that he was a billionaire, which is clearly wrong because his net worth is only estimated at 10 to 20 million, which is still a lot of money. Don't get me wrong; it's still a millionaire.
I guess they could say, "Look, I'm not a finance guru." They could be looking at speculatively, I guess, so like all of his land holdings, if they were to gain,
or they're just making
return
these
year on year.
Well, no, and then they're just making these edits for obviously making edits for views and clicks, right?
Yeah.
So the point being is that you put something up there and no one's going to fact check it because it's only a minute long and they're like, I could just skip it and watch something else.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
I don't see any other reason why you would fake it like that.
Yeah. And also like, it's just, I don't know. I feel a lot of like the red pill community is very cringy.
Well, they have to push the envelope for views too, right? So.
Yeah, because there is one video of Jay Waller. This is where I guess he becomes very not anti-red pill, but this is where the big hypocrisy comes in. Mm-hmm. Where Jay Waller is, I guess, a glorified sex addict, right? Where he's like, I'm non-monogamous.
I don't know this,
I don't believe in having a girlfriend, or I don't want a girlfriend. I just want I love a woman. Like, he's of the opinion that you can love a woman and just have sex with another woman and it could be completely different.
Yeah, I just looked up if he was married.
All right, we're waiting on the results. I don't think he's married. The way he speaks, if he was married, I'd be very surprised. Like,
one of these websites says he shares a beautiful and enduring bond with his wife, Alice Waller, of over a decade. Wow, he's married, and all the shit he says about him wanting to sleep with other women on the internet. Wait. There's a TikTok video.
He
has says Justin Waller reveals why he can have 5 wives.
Exactly. There you go.
Oh, like, so it's not. So he's polygamous.
That is. I don't know if he's a polygamist, but he's definitely a person who believes in the idea and the sentence of, you can love your wife, but you could also have sex with other women. And
like an open relationship. That kind
of like an open, but not an open relationship.
One clip says that he has 3 wives. One said that he has 5. One clip is from the Whatever podcast where he reveals that he's married.
Okay, so he definitely believes in an open relationship for men, because if you listen to the podcast and all that, or if you listen to how he speaks, and it's like, if a woman sleeps with multiple men, oh, she's a hoe. But if I can sleep with multiple women, that makes me, this high value man, right?
Right.
And it's just like
another website from readbiographies.com says, from September 18th of this year, says that he is currently single at the moment, has not mentioned anything about his relationships.
What? So there's a lot of conflicting information.
There's so much conflicting information. I don't even know.
But you know what is funny about Jay Waller, and I won't give him this? He did riz Brett Cooper.
He did riz Brett Cooper?
Yeah. So like,
I know the clip you're talking about, where he's talking about like traditional women.
She's cute as a button, all this stuff, right?
No. There was like she was doing, her show is the comment section,
yes.
Right? Wasn't she going over a clip of him talking about like traditional women, and she just agreed with everything that he said?
Yeah, until where she was like, I wish he would only be with one woman, not like 1,000. And then he responded to that clip saying like, oh, Brett Cooper, she's cute as a button. I love her. I would take her out to a date. And then somebody gets another clip of her back where she's like, he's got me. Like I would say yes. Like, so everybody's like, oh, he is. A big conspiracy is Andrew Tate had sex with Jordan Peterson's daughter.
I saw the videos of it, but no, she said that it didn't happen though.
But there's a photo, and there's a photo, air quotes, right? That doesn't mean anything, but like, there's a photo of Andrew Tate like grabbing her butt. Like it's like his hand, like it's like, you know, a photo of them together, and his hand is kind of low. The ass, yeah. Kind of low. But not saying that is.
But that's not enough to prove evidence. That's not enough to prove not enough
proof. But you know, she says, I did go to Romania.
You got to ride in the Bugatti.
She did ride in the Bugatti, and they did take her to all these castles, you know, all this stuff.
How do you think Jordan felt about that?
Jordan doesn't like Andrew Tate. He does not like him. That's crazy. He does not like him.
Well, the daughter's like daughter's a grown woman, right? She can go out and do whatever she wants.
What's her name? I just know her by her face.
Let me Google real quick.
Because she like runs the Lion Diet. I swear, I do not live online. I do not live online. But she runs like the Lion Diet company, something like that, where basically it's a carnivore diet, but it's for lions. Like you only eat sirloin, salt, and water. Like that's it.
Oh, so it's just about dieting, like another version of the carnivore diet. Yeah, because she had like all
of these health problems and claims that like anecdotally, like this diet helped her, you know, reverse her arthritis, and
like all the protein benefits.
Blah, blah, blah. But it's just beef, salt, and water. That's all it is.
I think Jordan Peterson talked about the carnivore diet. Didn't he? No, he was on. There was a viral clip. He was interviewed about that. He's like, I stopped snoring, my pain went away, my eyesight got better or something like that. Or like I don't know.
All this like anecdotal, you know. Like,
yeah. Or no. He was like, I can't remember. His
insomnia went away.
Yeah, something. He listed like 5 or 6 things that like went away after he started it. But the daughter's Michaela. I think I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Michaela.
Oh yeah. I'm saying it completely wrong. Michaela.
Yeah, Michaela.
Because it had an A at the end, so I was like.
Yeah. So.
I thought I'm so stupid. It's Michaela. Anyway.
Yeah, she runs like the Lion Diet. But you know who is a really big in the red pill community that I completely forgot that I'm about to freaking go off on? Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit podcast.
They're big into the what?
The red pill community. So you know Myron.
Like supporting or critiquing?
Supporting. Like they're like one of the poster childs of the red pill community. Have you ever seen like an episode? If you mind me asking, ever seen an episode of Fresh and Fit?
Not a full episode. I've seen
like the clips.
I've seen clips, like viral clips.
So all those women on the podcast. This is alleged, by the way. This is not
really. They support the red pill community.
No. So they get a bunch of OnlyFans girls. So one big point of the red pill community is dunking on OnlyFans girls.
I was about to be like the Fresh and Fit podcast. I was about to be like they're all like OnlyFans girls, very promiscuous women.
Yeah.
So why would they support the red pill community?
What they do is that they get all these OnlyFans girls to get them allegedly drunk, right?
And you're uninhibited when you're drunk.
Yeah, and then they just shit on them. And once they start pushing back, he kicks them off the show. He's like, get up, you're being disrespectful, you're interrupting me. When you can watch the episode and they are not interrupting him. And we're talking about Myron, right? The taller guy.
I don't know who this person is.
Oh, okay. Well, you can like look him up, but he's like, you know,
what's his name? Myron?
Myron. Just type Fresh and Fit. I could be mispronouncing his name, but yeah, he is
Fresh and Fit. We help men become better with dating / game, fitness, social media, and finances. Order Myron's new book. Why Women Deserve Less.
Shill.
Damn.
Like he is grifting. Like if you are a young man listening to this, and you are thinking about buying this man's book, don't. He is a grifter. He's just
I've seen this guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all those OnlyFans girls are allegedly drunk, and he kind of just shits on them because when you're drunk, you can't really have like a coherent debate, you know. And it's just insane. Like, yeah, you can argue about the, you know, ethical, you know, ethics of OnlyFans, and you could argue like, as a society, why has OnlyFans succeeded? Like, you can argue those points, but why do you need to get allegedly? I don't want to be sued.
So I'm interested in this for a second because I thought that I didn't know that it's run by 2 guys.
2 guys, yes.
I didn't know that because the majority of the clips I see have like 5 or 6 women on them. So
that's
I thought
what they do. Yeah.
No, I thought it was like a females podcast.
No.
And then they have men on it and then like they go against that. I didn't know that this was owned by 2 guys.
No.
I didn't know that.
And then did
you know that the host of the Manosphere episode for Fresh and Fit choked up after announcing it had been demonetized on YouTube. It announced this news to 1.4 million subscribers. This is coming from August 22nd.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah. But they're fathomably wealthy. They're not going anywhere. But you know his co-host?
Co-host is a dating coach, Walter Weeks.
Yeah, claims,
am I pronouncing that correctly?
I don't know, but he claims to have slept with over 1,000 women.
Yeah, that's not true. I don't believe that for a second.
You're like Cap.
I'm pretty sure like the only type of person that can sleep with 1,000 women is a porn star. Like a normal person's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question for you. Do you believe there's a line between the red pill and like scammers? Like, would we say Dan Bilzerian part of the red pill community?
No, because he's total fraud. He literally
like he's a scammer.
Oh, he's like, I have all this money, I get to do all this stuff, all this women, all the money, and I spend everything else. Like, you were literally just charging everything to your company's expenses, and then your company almost went bankrupt like 2 or 3 times. Armenia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're a fraud, so no.
Like Dan Bilzerian, that's such an interesting
You're only
time
a part of
YouTube.
You can like be a part of it, but you have to be able to back up your claims to a certain extent, and he got caught red-handed.
Yeah. How did he get caught? Do you remember? I think it wasn't his investors were like, where's the money? Like, it was like something like corporate, because doesn't he own a weed company listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange?
I think he owns a supplement company.
But I know it was listed on the Canadian Stock Exchange because whatever he was selling was illegal at the time, federally. Well, it is still federally illegal.
Yeah.
And he couldn't list it on the New York Stock Exchange.
I'm going to ask, how was he caught?
Yeah, I think it was something where like investors were like, why are we bleeding cash left and right,
Yeah, he's been named he was originally called the King of Instagram for all his like posts and everything. But due to his fake fantasy life, he has now been crowned the biggest fraud on Instagram. Let's see here. It says, earlier was mentioned that Dan Bilzerian inherited a large quantity of money from his father in the form of a trust fund. However, Dan Bilzerian has also amassed a sizable fortune through his work as a professional poker player and several other business ventures. This is from abcactionnews.com. Let's see. That's interesting. They listed one of his apartments for rent. The location was in Bel Air in Los Angeles. It was 12 bedrooms, 24 bathrooms, $67.5 million, paying $200,000 per month in rent. That's fucking crazy. Anyway, he was reported wealth of $200 million. Calls him a successful entrepreneur with his own autobiography called The Setup. He has a list of real estate investments which were highly successful. It's the beginning of his fortune.
So he's a scammer.
Then apparently he has he has a wife apparently.
Yeah, did she fly with him?
Well, this is also from a year ago. Her name is Haley Grice or Grice, however you pronounce it. A bikini model who walked down the aisle with him.
Oh wow! Didn't he Photoshop Cardi B or like out or in the party, something like that?
What happened? Sorry.
Didn't he Photoshop Cardi B into a picture or something? There was like he had a party out in LA in one of his houses.
Okay.
And he Cardi B was supposed to be there or something, and he photoshopped her butt or something like to make it larger.
I don't know. I've never heard of this.
It's just crazy. And I remember people were like, this is obviously photoshopped, like he photoshopped her butt to be bigger. I think it was something along those lines, but yeah, he's just a very superficial.
He's also the CEO and founder of a company called Ignite.
That's what it was, and I think that's a weed company,
which has according to Ignite, the website, has positioned itself as the gold standard industry expert in nicotine, spirits, beverages, and supported with a premium apparel line for active lifestyles.
Oh, so I stand corrected.
But I remember watching a video on like how he was just faking everything. And then one part of it was that him doing like all the house parties, all the expensive equipment, all the models, in the houses and everything.
Corporate expenses, baby.
He placed everything towards corporate expenses, which ran up their profits dry to pay for his wealthy lifestyle. And then like he's the CEO and not CEO and founder. One of the other, I don't know if it was like the chairman or like some other guy in charge, because he wasn't always there. There's another guy in charge leading everything. He cut off several parts of his expenses, where he wanted like a fancy jet for himself that was like $20 million. He cut that off. There was like, or something like a couple of his parties that he wanted all this shit there. This guy cut it off. He's like, no, I'm cutting you off at here. You're spending way too much. And we're going in the red because of you. Mm-hmm. And then I'm pretty sure he got fired from Ignite.
Yeah.
I think he did.
Or, no, sure. I think he was going to be extradited for fraud or convicted of fraud in the United States or in Canada. And he fled to Armenia because Armenia, A, he has Armenian citizenship. And B, because Armenia doesn't have extradition laws.
Interesting.
So he can run to Armenia.
I'm going to look up real quick if he still works with Ignite or not. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. No, I think another kind of like weird, he was on, I remember Joe Rogan was on Dan Bilzerian was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and just how like he was people like veterans, when he was talking about how he went through buds and everything, was like, he is such full of shit. And I remember a viral video of Dan Bilzerian. There was like a shootout, right? And he ran up to the cops and was like, yo, give me your gun. I can help. I went through Navy SEAL training. Oh, man. You gotta be something else for that.
So what I found, it doesn't say whether or not he's not with the company anymore, but it says what happened with Ignite was that, according to the SEC's filing in the U.S. District Court for Central District of California, they are investigating, among other things, whether Ignite violated federal security laws by making false or misleading statements and reporting 2020 financial results.
Oh, so the SEC was going after his ass.
And then, according to Forbes.com, the company's accumulated deficit rose to $103 million, up from $83 million at the end of 2019. In this way, Dan Bilzerian is acting as a businessman, existing as a sort of 21st century king of debt. So he's just constantly piling on debt from his company to live a lavish lifestyle. Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
Yeah. Borrow. And I guess Dan Bilzerian also saw himself as the marketing of Ignite. Like the brand, like Ignite and himself, they were intertwined. Kind of like Kanye and Yeezy.
Yeah.
I guess that's probably how he saw himself as. Mm-hmm. And so they saw that if he could elevate his brand and just, giving him the benefit, or quotes, benefit of the doubt, he could successfully market Ignite as this very luxurious product because he lives a very luxurious lifestyle, and kind of intertwine, sell luxury, right? Like Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Versace, they sell, like, rich people buy them, but not like super rich people. Like Louis Vuitton, Versace, like, how their business model works is it's for middle class people to feel rich. So they sell a feeling, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I feel rich. I want my Louis bag. I want my red bottoms. I want my, luxurious items. So that's why they can have a markup. So maybe that's what he was trying to do with Ignite, was sell someone a feeling of this lavish, luxurious lifestyle.
But there's a difference between selling and marketing a lavish lifestyle and then trying to live that same lifestyle yourself while putting the company that you depend on in more than $100 million worth of debt.
There's so many scammers. Like, did you, not to bring this up, but like CryptoZoo.
I'm not familiar with CryptoZoo either.
Logan Paul. Basically, it's just like all these NFTs. Like, you buy this egg.
Okay.
And it was like this whole idea of this, like, kind of, this NFT platform that you can buy these eggs, and like it's kind of like valued.
Did this start with Logan Paul?
This started with Logan Paul.
Why would anybody
owes his investors somewhere around like $10 million or something. He has not paid back
any of
them, and people are like, why isn't the SEC going after him? He just defrauded all these people.
I can't.
And what's really funny was, maybe this is going to segue into like Dylan Dennis. Like Dylan Dennis was like, oh, you know, Logan Paul was like, oh, you're a broke bitch, blah, 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 blah. And Dylan Dennis was like, why don't you pay back the people from Crypto Zoo? And then Logan Paul was like, we're working on that.
Why would anybody... I love how people keep giving into anything that he makes.
Who, Logan?
Logan Paul, yeah.
It's because he's good looking. He's a very intelligent marketer. Like, if I gotta give one thing to that scammer, is he can market shit.
Yeah.
Like, Logan is very protective of his brand, very protective of kind of like his whole media empire. I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, but he's failed so many times and been caught so many times that nobody's learning anything.
But he has the three big things. Prime, which is like his bread and butter. I think it's valued at $1 billion now. He has Impulsive, his own podcast, right, which is successful in its own right. And then he also has his kind of like, I guess, boxing career, kind of like just...
Yeah, the fake...
He uses boxing as a platform to advertise Prime.
Yeah, the fake staged fights.
Yeah. And what's hilarious though is like Dylan Dennis was like, why don't you pay back all the people from Crypto Zoo, XYZ? But what's also funny is Dylan Dennis also scammed people for NFTs, something with his NFT platform. And people are like, wait, you're calling out a scammer? Aren't you a scammer? It's like everyone's a scammer now. You know, it's like... God,
people really need to stop falling for this crap, honestly.
Like,
please do your research first before you just jump into any form of business venture or financial venture, please.
Like, make sure they have a credit from the Better Business Bureau. There you go.
Yeah.
It's just so crazy
because a celebrity's involved in it doesn't mean it's a good investment. You still need to do your research.
Yeah. And it's just Logan Paul, Dan Bilzerian. Yeah, I wouldn't call him... Well, Logan Paul is definitely not in the red pill community.
No, he's not.
No, but like Dan
Bilzerian...
He's
in the scamming community.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's scammers.
They're in the scamming community, but they are not in the red pill community.
Yeah, but there are some overlap. Like, I would say...
Just because the aspects are the same doesn't make you a part of it.
Like, I would say...
Unless you start doing that same content and start pushing it the way that Peterson does it, the way that Andrew Tate does it, the way that Jay Waller does, everybody else, you're not. I don't count it.
Do you know who what's his name? Elliot something. He's like, has he showed up on your algorithm yet? He's like an intense car salesman.
No, I've never heard of this guy.
He's like, he sells cars, right? And it's this guy, I think it's Elliot something. You can look him up, and he's like, we're going to fucking war. Do you close the deal? Are you a closer? Do you close? How are you going to close the deal? Like,
oh, shit, okay.
And he goes, I don't hire anybody in my car dealership who doesn't have a six-pack and who doesn't want that. Because people don't want to come in and see a fat piece of shit. And then he always singles somebody in the audience like you. You know, he's like, do you go home to your wife and do you have sex every single night? And if you're not, then you're not a winner. Like, that is how this man speaks.
Okay.
But what's crazy is that...
Wait, does he sell a lot of cars?
Yeah, but what's crazy is Philion, shout out to Philion, did a whole video on him. He's like, he is being investigated for fraud by the SEC. Like, all these gurus,
it's all the same shit.
Fraudsters, like they are scamming
but they make so much money.
They are scamming you. Should we start a scam?
We should start a scam. Hell, why not?
Should we hop on the red pill bandwagon, start a scam, milk people for like $10 million, and then leave?
Let's
basically pull a Sneeko.
Let's do it. This will be fun.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I'm gonna look up red pill.
Like icons.
Is red pill one word or two words?
Two words.
Red pill commentators.
Like most notable.
Net worth. I want to see how much money each of these guys actually make.
All right, then we will decide our red pill venture.
Oh, you know there's a documentary called The Red Pill?
Who did it?
Came out in 2016, directed by Cassie J.
Under what network? Or what platform?
Cassie J is a filmmaker based in the San Francisco Bay Area and the founder and CEO of J Bird Productions. So it's probably under that.
I'll have to look at it. There's so many like intricacies within the red pill community.
Trying to find... Oh no, this is the wrong Wikipedia. Hold on.
I would say go by most notable red pill people and then take like maybe the first 5 and then see their net worths. Like the big ones are like obviously Andrew and Tristan Tate, Jay Waller, trying to think. Just Pearly Things is really big in the red pill community. Sneeko, Aiden Raw. I'm
gonna look up I'm trying to find a list of them. Give me one second.
Yeah. Oh man. I know that... Who's another big red pill person? I'm trying to think of my past YouTube algorithms. I know Just Pearly Things is like the most annoying one because people, even in the red pill community, have accused her of just being a straight grifter. Like people have called her a grifter. She's like, I don't know what that means.
What's a grifter? I don't know.
Grifter is someone who kind of just tells you what you want to hear, so you give them money.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of like taking you along for a joyride. And what's really funny is like Just Pearly Things will be like, oh, I believe that women shouldn't vote. And she's a woman, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think women should vote. I don't think women should have a say in anything. I don't think society is much better ran by men. And everybody is like, for a woman who believes all these things, you sure have a lot of fucking opinions.
Damn.
They're like, if you truly believed in what you believed, wouldn't you just marry a man, shut up, and then like go back to the kitchen?
Oh my god!
Like that's literally what people, like her critics, say. Like, you are just the walking and like symbol of a hypocrite. You know.
So there's a couple listed here, like there's Kevin Samuels.
Oh, but he died.
He passed away, yeah. Myron Gaines, who we knew already. Mahdi Tijani.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I think I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Sneeko, Aiden Ross.
Just Pearly Things. Yeah. That's also another one. Her name is Pearl Davis.
Yeah. Anyone else that we know?
There's someone called Jebediah Bila.
Jebediah Bila? I don't know who that is.
It says female sexuality is another sore spot for many such high-value content creators, including Jebediah Bila.
No.
Regularly speaks up about it. In her eyes, a woman's value is surely influenced by how active she is sexually and ruins her prospects at landing a good partner.
I know one of the founders of the Red Pill community, I don't know his name, but people will be able to tell us in the comments section, is he made this graph of a like the sexual value of a woman, and as she ages it decreases, and the graph starts at the highest benchmark. I just want you to take an age of where he started the graph.
For what?
So like a woman is the most prized, most sexually attractive at this age.
At this age.
And at this age, she's the least.
I'm going to guess 18.
Okay, and then what do you think she is the least sexually attractive? At what age?
I give like maybe mid-50s.
He went from 15 to 30.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's going to get you a lot. I thought it was like, I guessed 18 first because that's like the legal age.
Yeah. No, he went straight up at 15. He was like, you know what's
wow,
like a pedo bear like coming into,
that's the first thing that goes
like
in
if
your
somebody
mind.
can edit the videos, like a pedo bear just slowly starts coming into the frame. But do you know who Nick Fuentes is?
No, I don't know.
You don't know who Nick Fuentes is? Oh, maybe
I'm not so involved in
people
this.
Are gonna think like I live online. Like
you sound like
I know
online.
I do sound like I live online, but I trust me, I
know the big
online.
three. I don't know who any of these other people are.
So wait, the big three were what?
Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, and Jay Waller.
Okay. So Nick Fuentes is like this huge alt-right white supremacist who's like outright like, yeah, I hate anyone who isn't white. What's funny is though he's like Hispanic, right? But he like denounces his Hispanic. He's like, oh, I'm half Irish and Hispanic. So he only but anyways. So he literally went on a live stream, and I'm laughing at this because it's so freaking disgusting, where he's like, yeah, I'm sick and tired. And he's like 22, 20, like look him up, like Nick Fuentes, how old he is. But he's like 22, 23, and he's literally like, I want him young. I want an obedient wife. I want an obedient woman, untouched. I'm thinking maximum like 18. Yeah, this man is like going off.
Wow. Okay. So,
yeah. What does Google say?
He was born in 1998, so he's 25 years old.
Oh, he's only a year older than me.
That's
crazy. Yeah.
Founder is known for political commentary. Founder of the Groypers. And a Holocaust denier.
Yeah. He's boys with Kanye West.
Oh my god. What the hell is the Groyper? Hold on.
Oh, are we going down a rabbit hole now? Is this now like...
Groypers, sometimes called the Groyper Army, are a group of white nationalist and far-right activists, provocateurs, and internet trolls who are notable for their attempts to introduce far-right politics into mainstream conservatism in the United States. Their participation in the 2021 U.S. Capitol attack and the protests leading up to it, and their extremist views. That's a horrible ass name.
The Groypers sounds like the groomers.
No, that's what I thought in the first place. Groyper is comes from the meme with you know the frog meme.
Pepe the Frog.
Pepe the Frog, like that. That's literally where it comes from.
Wait.
You see
For
the
those
picture?
who may not know, think if like Pepe the Frog and Jabba the Hutt had a kid. That's literally what it would be.
What it looks like. So and then he has like this weird like type face on it that just looks like ugh. He looks like he wants to touch you.
Yeah. Nick Fuentes, part of a series on anti-Semitism. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, this man, he is, first of all, I'm sorry, Nick, if you're listening to this, if these people who you perpetuate come to power, you're hopping on the train with the rest of us. So like, yeah. you are not white. But anyways, it's like, it's insane.
Okay. We're running a little bit long, so I'm going to quickly get into a couple things before we finish. So final thoughts on the Red Pill community.
If you're a young man, you do not need the Red Pill community. What I will tell you this. Work out for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Find a hobby. And if you want a girlfriend, be yourself. Hit the gym if you need self-confidence, because the gym is also healthy for you, but also will just give you self-confidence. And just be yourself, because, as someone who happily has a girlfriend, girls like authenticity and they like confidence, but do not confuse confidence with arrogance. Mm-hmm. That's what I'll say.
I agree with what you say. I think that for the Red Pill community, there are some things that I do agree with what they say. Mm-hmm. But the closer you get to the extremist point of views, mm-hmm. where you're getting way more political than you should be, I think that in general, like, you shouldn't be listening to anyone with extremist views at all. Once mm-hmm. you too far left or too far right is not good. Mm-hmm. Straightforward thinking down the middle is usually the best way to approach something, because your mind is the clearest at that point. I do believe that more young people, especially like from like kids to teenagers to young adults, do need more male role models, but just not ones that push to these extreme views. Yeah. Focus on the confidence and like building your own self-respect, and less on the hatred. Yeah. That doesn't help anybody. It most certainly doesn't help yourself either.
And go outside.
Yeah. Get off your phone
touch some grass.
Get off your phone, touch some grass, spend some time outside your own element for a change.
Yeah.
And you might enjoy it.
And you might just meet somebody.
Yeah. And also, please have a better definition for the Red Pill community, online at least, so that it's easier for people to understand. Especially because when we get into all these like different political topics, there's never like a straightforward definition for what's going on or what this means, and people have a very hard time figuring it out, which I think attributes to it. And when fear grows from something you don't understand, right?
Amen.
When you don't understand or comprehend anything, fear of the unknown takes over. So please make this more straightforward for people who don't understand or don't pay attention. And going off that, we need to do these drinks.
I know. That's what I was just saying.
We are so far along.
Are we about to end the
We
episode?
are so far along, and we did not do this yet. So,
okay. Final guesses?
Because do any final guesses, and I'll tell you what it is. Obviously, I made it, so.
Okay. Vodka as the main alc.
Mm-hmm.
Peach. Something peach.
Yes.
With sour mix. Because I remember you bought...
Technically, yes.
I remember you bought some sour mix, and you did say it was sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Even
though it's supposed to be sour mix, but it would taste sweet.
I'm going with apple juice as the chaser.
Okay. There is no apple juice in this.
Sheesh.
You're right about the vodka. You're technically right about the sour mix. What it is, it's a combination of peach vodka, and I bought... Do you remember that cocktail mixer I bought from Albany?
I just said that, yeah.
I just opened it up. I tried it the other day. It surprisingly tasted a lot sweeter than I thought it was going to be. So, because it's supposed to be a sour mix. Mm-hmm. It's a smoked honey citrus sour mix.
Pretty good.
So I mixed it. Technically, the bottle says it goes better with rye or bourbon, but I didn't have that. I only had vodka. So I mixed those two together.
Do you know the company? Do we want to give them a shout out or no free advertising?
Yes, I am going to give them a shout out. Not sponsored, obviously. It's from Bitter Milk, a company called Bitter Milk that makes these. I'm pretty sure... I don't remember if the bottle said organic or not, but they make these cocktail mixers and other items for like drinks or
like alcohol paraphernalia
or that kind of stuff. Yeah. So, and I bought one while I was in Albany. It tastes very good. So shout out to the company called Bitter Milk. And if you get a chance, definitely give them a shot. They taste really good. And with that, I'm going to end the episode. Once again, thank you everyone for listening. Follow us on Spotify or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more episodes, and follow us on all our social medias for upcoming content. Thank you guys so much.
Peace.